we say a lot about the AFC and how good it's going to be. We have the real Jack from the other day where you're listing off teams. You're going the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Bills, the Chiefs. And Zach, you're Miami Dolphins.
Jets, Rodgers, Dolphins,
Jets,
healthy.
Rodgers.
Jaguars now.
We haven't said anything about the Dolphins, who they're having a quiet offseason, but have made a couple really nice moves. They bring in Vic Fangio. They probably have one of the best coaching staffs in the league at the moment. Go get Jalen Ramsey. You pair him with Xavier Howard, who a lot of people are hoping has a better season than he had this previous year.
Not the biggest move.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The biggest move was the NFLPA approving a concussion-resistant helmet for quarterbacks.
Though they need that, but
no, like, look, the sky's the limit for this team if Tua can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right? He was, by the numbers, one of the best quarterbacks. Their offense was insane. The defense should improve.
No, I totally
the reason
agree.
they're not getting attention is just because I don't think anyone believes Tua's playing 17 games next year.
It's hard to at the moment. Everyone has the image in their head of him on the ground in Cincinnati with his fingers.
I mean, they went into Buffalo in the playoffs in like negative temperatures. Was it double-digit lead?
They were
6-point lead?
I think I thought they were
7-point lead.
Were they at 14 at one point or 13?
12-point
no,
lead?
it was double digits.
Yeah, they had a double-digit lead.
On the road without Tua playing.
With our third-string quarterback, without Teddy Bridgewater
With
playing.
Skylar Thompson, the college quarterback playing.
No, that team. When you look at that team, just from comparing roster by roster, if you remove the quarterbacks, and I know that it's a big ask, but if you remove the quarterbacks, that roster is as good as anyone in the league.
Oh,
and Tua's better than anyone in the league.
Yeah, we saw it last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the D line here: Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. That team, and then the offense. We all know Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. It goes very deep. So if Tua comes in and plays anything like he did last year, they were 8-1 the first 9 games with him. Only game they lost that he started was when he got hurt against Cincinnati, and he didn't play most of that game.
Yeah, as you say, like Tua's not some scrub, right? We're not talking about putting like Zach Wilson on a loaded Jets team.
No, he's
he is certainly a top 10 quarterback. He has games where he looks like a top 5 quarterback or better. Obviously the weapons help him out, but he knows how to take care of business. You just wonder.
Here's what I wanted to show you guys real quick. A quick blind resume. I've seen my boss, Colin Coward, do this a few times. Tua's numbers, okay? I'm going to compare him to some four random quarterbacks here. So Tua last year.
Random quarterbacks?
No, not random, but I chose them. Yes. 4 quarterbacks. 13 games. Tua had 64.8% completion percentage, 273 yards per game, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Okay?
Okay.
Quarterback 1, 68.2% completion percentage, 278.8 yards per game, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So almost identical in every category.
I'd probably.
Do you actually have a guess for this? This would be unbelievably impressive.
I'm going to go. I'd probably go with a little bit higher the completion percentage. So I'd probably take the other option.
Mm-hmm.
I guess who it is.
So I'll tell you, it's 7. He played all 17 games. That's Justin Herbert right there. Someone who, whenever he comes up, people talk about him. When you're mentioning the new faces of the league, he's one of the first 3-4 guys you say probably. So that's Herbert.
One increasingly wonders why Justin Herbert's making those lists, though.
Yes, I will say, as time has gone on, those questions are growing. I'm not there yet to really question it.
I'm not saying you have to become a truther or like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm starting to wonder.
Doubt is starting to creep in, but he's still got it. He's still got so many of the. He's unbelievable.
Okay.
You get Justin Herbert, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
That's
he's
scary.
Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Austin Eckler.
Yeah, that's not Hill and Waddle. A banged up Keenan Allen who's hurdled 24/7 is not.
I agree with you. I think Herbert's amazing, but the question is starting to come up. That's all.
It is, yeah.
You have to admit he has to do something next year.
He's the new.
They need, yeah. Look, they were on their way. If they beat Jacksonville and go into the divisional round, who knows how we're talking about the Chargers this offseason.
It's also so tough, pretty much being guaranteed at the best to be the 5 or the 6 seed every year.
They just got to.
He's not guaranteed anything. How about he wins some games?
He says, just win a game, beat the Chiefs, beat Mahomes.
They can't. Nobody can.
It's hard to do.
You can't.
If you're a face of the league like Joe Burrow, you can beat the Chiefs. Why can't he do it? Why does no one ever expect Justin Herbert to put up a competition? If he's supposed to be one of the 3 best quarterbacks, 4 best quarterbacks in the league.
When it comes to the division, win the division.
Oh no, Ziggy, I do expect him. I think he should expect to win the division. That Chargers team is not bad. No one thinks that they'll beat the Chiefs, but within the Chargers organization, they need to be thinking, we can win this division. It's not, if anyone's going in there saying like the Chiefs are that much better, that's because they're just not. Like the Chiefs are very, very good, but they're not that much better than the Chargers. They just always find a way. All right.
Can I have a hot take?
Yeah, what's your hot take?
Justin Herbert's the new Phillip Rivers. It's the hot take. Always good enough to make it to the playoffs, never good enough to make it farther.
That's not true. Phillip Rivers won the division like 5 times in 6 years.
I said playoffs, Ziggy. I didn't say.
No, I'm just saying like.
I said can make the playoffs.
No. You didn't say anything wrong. I'm just saying.
Rivers' numbers. I just remember he was
Rivers'
amazing.
numbers like top 7 all time on most things.
Herbert might have more natural ability than Rivers, but Rivers, they had a couple teams that had a real shot.
Yeah.
The last time the Chiefs lost the division, this is all I'm saying. Every year in this division, you hear offseason hype about how it's going to be some other team winning the division and not the Chiefs. And the last time, the last quarterback not on the Chiefs to win that division was Peyton Manning.
Oh my gosh!
So they've won every year since 2015.
Sheesh.
And they've dominated. They've dominated.
That's Patriots level success.
Well, what? They've been to 5 straight AFC Championship games, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It's amazing.
That's very tough being Justin Herbert playing in that division.
But again, you're up 27-0 to the Jaguars. You gotta win that game.
Of course, but your defense is partially to blame on that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You're up by 28 points.
You gotta close the door.
Win some games.
You gotta close the door. All right, here's the second quarterback. So Tua, again, 64.8% completion percentage, 273 yards per game, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Quarterback 2, 63.3 completion percentage, a little lower than Tua. 267.7 yards per game, a little lower than Tua. 35 touchdowns, 10 more, and 14 interceptions, 6 more interceptions. Now he played 3 more games, but this guy, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions there. So fairly comparable again.
Yeah, it's comparable.
Is that Josh Allen?
That's Josh Allen. So Tua's numbers now, kind of like not that far off from Herbert. I mean, better than Herbert in a lot of categories and better than Allen in some here. So Allen has a little bit more explosion. But remember, Tua played 3 less games. So maybe Tua's probably sitting at, 35 touchdowns if he plays 3 or 4 more games?
I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, Josh Allen's also a one-man rushing offense.
He is, yes. You have to factor in his rushing.
I don't think many people will be saying, oh, Tua's not a... I think more of his concern is the injury. I think people think he's a good quarterback.
People think he's a good quarterback, but they don't think he's elite.
I mean,
that's fair.
Right? And I mean, I probably even fall into that.
But also, I mean, after what I would say, though, is after last season, people are starting to wonder if Herbert and Allen are elite.
You are seeing, right, there are also coming up.
There are many people who will tell you there are 3 elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now: Mahomes, Burrow, and Hurts.
I mean, Tua played awesome when he was healthy, which wasn't that often, and he was throwing slants to the 2 fastest receivers in the league.
On the money. Do you remember before the San Francisco game? And I know that you guys got destroyed in that, Zach. But before that game, the big question was, who's going to win? Is it the Dolphins or the 49ers in the middle of the field? Because 49ers defense controls the middle. Okay. And Tua was just absolutely phenomenal on. I think it was his 3-step drop. Right to the middle, right on target to Tyreek and Jalen.
I think most QBs in the situation.
He was at an absurd rate.
People are saying that like Tua did this throwing slants. Among quarterbacks who attempted more than 100 passes last year, no one had average air yards more than Tua. Literally no one.
I'm trying to say
he threw deeper passes than any quarterback in the league.
We saw Tua play awesome for about half the season when he had 2 superstar receivers.
But that's your whole argument.
I know it is, but I want to see him stay healthy.
Yes,
and continue to do so before we say, "Oh, this man is elite."
Sure, but here's one more quarterback. Okay, last one. Do you want me to say Tua's stats one more time? You want to hear him one more?
Sure.
Yeah.
He was 64.8% completion, 273 yards per game, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. This guy played in all 17 games now. 66.3% completion, 2 less than Tua, 242 yards per game. 30-something yards less than Tua. 25 touchdowns, matching him, and 8 interceptions, matching him.
And played in all
the games.
Aaron Rodgers.
So he had... Aaron Rodgers was the other guy I was going to say, who would have been the 4th guy here. But no, Trevor Lawrence. who everyone is buying stock in right now.
I mean, people are buying Trevor Lawrence because of the playoffs.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not super high on Trevor Lawrence myself.
Well, Ziggy, you're very high on him, right?
I'm high, but people aren't high on him because of the stats he put up in the regular season.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's another guy. These three guys I've said are all in that top 5, and Tua is a young guy who has the best weapons out of anyone. So you have to factor that in.
Well, here's the thing. I think if Tua plays an entire season healthy and puts up like Trevor Lawrence did, people are saying, oh yeah, he's up there with Trevor Lawrence for sure. I think it's the injury problem. That's what I think.
So you think Tua and Trevor, if they're both healthy?
Yeah, I think people talk about Tua like Trevor Lawrence. No, but 100%.
So you think that Tua is as good as Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah. People are high on.
I think a lot of people disagree with that.
I mean, but here's the thing: it doesn't matter, right? There's all of this talk about who's better than who. What matters is your production. At a certain point, what matters is the numbers you're able to put up in your situation. And the fact is, when Tua is playing, he's putting up elite stats.
Top 10
So,
numbers.
like, do we really care how good he is in a vacuum if you put him on, like, the NFL average roster? No, because he fits on what the Dolphins want to do. He can take care of business.
I was getting frustrated seeing these articles. I was reading, just in getting ready for the show, I look in the comment section just to see what the fans are saying as well. And a lot of people are just saying, oh, if he wasn't in McDaniel's system, which is designed specifically for him, of course it's designed for him.
Yeah,
he's the quarterback of the Dolphins.
Yes.
Obviously, you're going to set up the system for him. And he's very, very good in that system. So I'm with you. I just couldn't understand what people were saying.
I'm just saying there's Trevor Lawrence hype, right? Because he had a decent regular season, won the division, won a playoff game. I think if Tua is healthy all year, puts up his numbers that he did when he was playing, wins the playoff game, which he probably could have, he's up there with that same hype as Trevor Lawrence.
You think that you're mentioning his name right next to those guys that you're mentioning with Lawrence?
Yes, I think there's hype with Tua and all those other guys if he's healthy. I think the main problem is the injury. That 1,000%.
If he's healthy, are the Dolphins a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No question. Look, I
agree.
All they need is a slightly above average defense, and I am highly confident Fangio can step in and give them that.
Where do you think they would rank?
But I think without him, no.
Oh, no, of course not without him.
Mike White stinks.
Which does show his importance. But
let's give him vibranium bones.
If he plays the full season, let's say I'm gonna grant Tua's wish. He's not getting a concussion. The jiu-jitsu works, whatever.
Another problem is he gets one more concussion, he's probably dead on the field.
That is. Everyone's talking about how he's not more likely to get another concussion. It's like that's not the problem. The problem is if he gets another concussion, what happens?
But he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So he doesn't get hurt.
Go back to the height problem.
It's so easy. It's so easy how we get distracted. He doesn't get hurt. Where do the Dolphins rank among the contenders? I'm assuming they're behind the Chiefs. I'll rattle off a couple teams. You guys just give me yes or no. Chargers
behind. Without Tua, behind.
No, with Tua. That was the point.
With Tua, ahead.
Okay.
Easily ahead.
Jets with Rodgers.
Ahead.
Ahead.
Ravens. Lamar.
Yeah, ahead of the Jets. Ahead of the Ravens.
Bengals.
Behind.
Tied.
Slightly behind.
Jaguars.
Ahead.
I'm assuming behind the Chiefs.
Yeah. Of course.
Am I forgetting anyone of real note there?
Steelers behind.
Steelers.
You mean the AFC? Yeah. No, they're my number 2 team.
Bills.
In the AFC
what about the Bills?
Healthy. Ahead.
That's close. That's a toss-up for me.
I think this Bills team is going to regress next year.
Bills seem to be fading a bit. Remember how untouchable they seemed to start the season? Then old Kirk Cousins goes in there and throws a few haymakers. Next thing you know,
that ended their season. You know that?
No,
that game.
that was a morale breaker right there.
That also brings up the Brian Dable question: is Dable the mastermind?
That's another thing that people are talking about.
Look,
we'll see what happens.
Cards on the table. If you can guarantee me Tua's healthy, he might have the occasional bump and bruise, but he can play every game relatively well. They're my second favorite to win the Super Bowl next year. I have them ahead of every NFC team, and I have them over every AFC team except the Chiefs. That's how high I am on this team.
I agree.
But they've got like the 8th or 9th best odds for me because I think it's extremely implausible Tua's healthy for the season.
Yeah. If Tua's healthy, I agree. They're a Super Bowl contender for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably go with a fully healthy Tua, and if he continues his production when healthy, I'd probably go Chiefs, Bengals, probably Bills. Eagles, Dolphins.
Yeah, in the AFC, the Jets, Bills, Dolphins is going to be amazing.
That's ridiculous.
I think I'd still put Buffalo and the Jets with Rodgers. Jets with Rodgers could really blow up, but I think I'd put them both a little ahead.